It's midnight and you're watching Nightline with me, Muhammed Ahmad Hamdan. The top stories. PH victory in KKB by-election clear signal to redouble efforts to strengthen economy. And Thailand on high alert for geomagnetic storm threatens to disrupt communication. We begin with this headlining story. The victory of Pakatan Harapan PH in the Kuala Lumpur Baru by-election signals a clear mandate for the unity government to redouble efforts in attracting investors and subsequently revive and strengthen the country's economy. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the unity government will continue to fulfill this trust and responsibility well for the people. In his social media post, Anwar congratulated and thanked the Unity Government Party's machinery, whom he said displayed extraordinary levels of unity and high spirits to defend the seat. The four-cornered contest saw PH candidate from DAP, Pang Sok Tau, securing victory with a 3,869 vote majority over Khairul Azhari Saud of Perikatan Nasional, Hafizah Zainuddin of Parti Rakyat Malaysia, and independent candidate Nyao Ke Sin. Meanwhile, Anwar, who is also PKR chief, reminded all party members, especially the younger generation, to embrace idealism and not be swayed by the temptation of amassing wealth. He said the talent of PKR's young leaders must be honed, adding that they must be prepared to continue the struggle for justice in bringing about changes. Barisan Nasional BN Chairman Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi meanwhile said Anwar expressed delight with the increased support of Malay voters for Pang Sok Tau, who won the by-election on Saturday.
Ini adalah merupakan satu perkembangan yang baik. Kita juga ada 8 PDM UMNO dan semuanya digerakkan untuk membantu calon yang bertanding di Kuala Lumpur Baru. Dan kita lihat juga pertambahan di kalangan pemuda Melayu.
He explained that before leaving for Qatar for an official visit, the Prime Minister, in a phone call to him on Sunday, he said he was happy. Zahid, who is also UMNO president, said Anwar also recorded his appreciation to the party and BN for helping Pang win and help Pakatan Harapan retain the Kuala Lumpur Baru state seat. And for Pang herself, the main focus is to fulfill voters' aspirations and the manifesto that was offered to them. The newly elected assemblyman wasted no time to fulfill her obligations. Hours after her victory, she took Sunday to meet her constituents in Kuala Lumpur Baru. The objective is to resolve local issues faced by the people in the constituency. Not only that, Pang had also vowed to deal with all the complaints as quickly as possible, like her predecessor, the late Lee Ki Hyong.
Manifesto saya akan mendahulukan masalah tempatan, di mana perkara kecil walaupun ada aduan yang mungkin bukan projek besar ke apa, tapi bagi saya aduan kecil-kecil amat mempengaruhi kehidupan penduduk setempat. Jadi saya akan mengutamakan penyelesaian untuk masalah tempatan.
And in conjunction with Mother's Day, Pang distributed more than 400 flowers and expressed appreciation to the voters in Kuala Lumpur Baru. In the meantime, geostrategist Azmi Hassan said Pakatan Harapan's victory at KKB is also proof that the coalition remains strong and intact, with clear endorsement from the voters towards the state and the federal governments.
Yes, no surprise in Pakatan Harapan retain their KKB seat, but what surprised me is that the margin of majority, 3,008 compared to 4,100 during the last state election in August, this is quite comparable, and we have to bear in mind this is only a by-election. But if you look in detail how the voters vote in this particular by-election, the Chinese voters, the Indian voters, the Malay voters, and other races, there was an increase in the voting pattern compared to the last state election, increase towards the Pakatan Harapan candidate. And I think the increase is due to the confidence and the manifestation that the voters in KKB at least are very satisfied with the performance, one, the state government, and not to forget the federal government, because Perikatan Nasional in their campaign, they use a lot of national issues in their campaign in KKB. So I guess this is a thumbs up for both the state government and also the federal government.
The Prime Minister's presence in Qatar carries considerable significance in the context of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, especially to help Malaysia understand the latest developments in the region. Malaysian ambassador to Qatar, Zamshari Shaharan, said this takes into account the very significant role played by Qatar, especially as the main mediator between Hamas and Israel. The Prime Minister has a tight schedule during his official visit to Qatar, starting late Sunday, where he will join the 4th Qatar Economic Forum QEF 2024. Anwar's visit coincides with the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Malaysia and Qatar. According to Zamshari, Anwar's meeting with his counterpart, Sheikh Muhammad Abdul Rahman Jassim Al Thani, who is also Qatar's foreign minister, will also focus on the conflict. The two last met during Anwar's official visit to Riyadh.
Perdana Menteri dan Menteri Luar Negeri Qatar ni adalah the key person dalam negotiation, ya. Dan peluang ini boleh kita gunakan untuk mendapatkan maklumat yang terkini mengenai perkembangan terbaru.
Zamshari said through the diplomatic policy of prevention played by Qatar, Malaysia is hoping to see a solution in the Palestinian-Israeli conflict issue. Previously, while attending the Special World Economic Forum (WEF) in Riyadh, Anwar pledged to support Qatar's role as a mediator in the Palestinian issue. He also informed that Malaysia is involved in channeling humanitarian aid to Gaza and so far has flown 100 tons of essential goods to help the people of Gaza, 20 tons by sea, and distributed 1,500 tons through non-governmental organizations from Malaysia. Anwar's visit coincides with the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Malaysia and Qatar. His visit is by invitation of the Amir of Qatar, His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, with whom he will also have an audience. Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim and Raja Permaisuri Agong Raja Zarith Sofia extended Mother's Day greetings to all women who are mothers. In a Facebook post on Sunday, Sultan Ibrahim also paid tribute to Raja Zarith Sofia for her love, sacrifices and support for their children. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong proceeded to thank Allah for blessing him with an incredibly caring wife and mother to their children. Mother's Day is celebrated worldwide on the second Sunday of May every year. Moving on, the Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Ministry KPDN is expanding Phase 2 of the Subsidised Diesel Control System SKDS 2.0 project to another 14 types of commercial vehicles starting Monday. Its Minister Dato' Armizan Muhammad Ali said the increase would take the total number of commercial vehicles eligible for subsidised diesel to 23 types.
Jadi antara faktor yang diambil kira, pertama dari segi kuantiti, volume penggunaan itu. Yang kita lihat pengangkutan ini menggunakan volume yang tinggi, diesel.
Armizan was speaking to the media after delivering his address at the Northern Zone KPDN Monthly Assembly in Kedah on Sunday. According to him, registration for the 14 types of new vehicles could be done through the My Subsidy diesel system starting Monday at 10 a.m. The minister added that companies applying for the subsidy must be registered for business in Malaysia, with the vehicle having valid and up-to-date road tax and being eligible under the system. Once the application has been approved, Armizan said the company should immediately submit the fleet card application to 5 designated oil companies, namely Petronas, Shell, Petron, Coltex and BHP. However, each company can only choose 3 oil companies for the fleet card. Prior to this, 9 types of vehicles were involved under Phase 1 of the SKDS 2.0 project. The overall mental health of Malaysian youths is moderately satisfactory. According to the Malaysian Youth Mental Health Index 2023 report, the average score for those aged between 15 and 30 was 71.91. However, this does not negate the ongoing struggle to improve mental health. Our intern journalist Ahmad delves into exploring the depths of mental health awareness and uncovering alternative approaches to addressing the issue.
Currently, there's a worrying increase in mental disorder prevalence. Reports from the Malaysian Youth Mental Health Index 2023 by UNICEF stated that 6 out of 10 youth experience mild to severe depressive symptoms, while 3 out of 10 have moderate to severe anxiety symptoms. Despite the challenges, there's a rising awareness of alternative therapies campaigns such as art therapy, offering a more complementary route towards healing. This method offers individuals an additional means to manage or alleviate their disorder while awaiting their next clinical appointment.
So basically, art therapy is definitely a complementary ways to people who struggle with mental health to cope with their symptoms, like as example like anxieties, insomnia, feeling low mood, feeling hopeless and everything, which will also lead to depression. If you look back in the traditional ways of therapy, in government sector especially, right, you have to wait for your appointment quite long, and the limitation in terms of accessibility for you to get a specific diagnosis or even right medication.
Although conventional treatments such as counseling therapy have long existed, it does have limitations such as cost, which ranges between 50 ringgit and 500 ringgit per session.
For my experience and also my knowledge, so it's ongoing evidence-based nowadays. There's a lot of therapy that can deliver to the society that helps in reducing mental health issue in the world, not just locally. And a lot of people already start incorporating not just conventional ones, not just in the pharmacological aspect, I mean medication, but also the non-pharmacological, which can be a very holistic approach.
As the landscape of mental health treatments evolving, it's clear that Malaysia is on the cusp of transformative approach. While traditional therapies remain foundational, there is a growing shift towards integrating a more holistic approach to address mental issues.
I think when it comes to art, generally when you look at an output, I think our creative side tend to respond positively to it, whether we realize it or not. So I think that outlet and that expression is definitely a really healthy form of expression. So I'm hoping, it'll definitely catch up. More and more people will, understand the value of such activities. And, because, mental health is not something that you can physically see.
As we navigate the complexities of mental health, let us remember that healing comes in many different forms. Together, let's break the stigma and embrace the approaches to nurture our mental well-being. I'm Naim for Nightline, TV3.
At least 11 dead in Indonesia bus crash. News from the foreign front when we return.
Tok, tolonglah saya risau ni. Sebab dia asyik pergi rumah janda Rusia tu je.
Dengan usus yang saya sumbangkan ni, banyak pihak yang boleh gunakan untuk belajar. Mungkin suatu hari nanti boleh jumpa penawar untuk penyakit kanser ni.
Saya tanya apa benda ni, kata dia inilah jong, permainan orang dulu-dulu.
Bila jong tu pergi laju ikut kehendak yang tuan dia nak, dekat hati tu rasa sikit bunga, banyak bunga tu. Sebab kita nampak jong kita laju macam mana pergi.
Stream sekarang melalui Tonton. Koloni warga Afrika cetus kebimbangan. Provokasi melampau jadi taktik ganggu pihak berkuasa. Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Onto the foreign front. Thailand is currently bracing for a severe geomagnetic storm, a temporary disturbance of the Earth's magnetosphere caused by a solar wind shock wave, which has not been recorded in recent history. The Geoinformatics and Space Technology Development Agency reported that the local K index for Thailand indicated a level 7 or G3 strength on Saturday night, pointing to a strong level of geomagnetic activity. Meanwhile, according to the latest updates from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the solar wind velocity has reached an astonishing 835 kilometers per second, indicating a direct impact on Earth. The storm, reaching a level 7 intensity, is expected to present two significant effects: an increased chance of witnessing the northern lights in high-latitude countries, and potential disruptions to satellite operations, including navigation and communication satellites. Additionally, high-frequency radio signals in the HF, VHF, UHF networks and electrical systems might be temporarily affected. As the geomagnetic storm unfolds, residents and authorities alike in Thailand are urged to stay informed and prepared, with the potential for breathtaking auroras and the need for contingency plans in the face of satellite and communication challenges. At least 34 people, including several children, have been killed on Sunday after flash floods and cold lava flow from a volcano hit western Indonesia. According to Basarnas Search and Rescue Agency, the disaster struck Agam and Tanah Datar districts in West Sumatra province at about 10:30 p.m. local time after hours of heavy rain, triggering a flash flood and a cold lava flow from Mount Marapi. Authorities dispatched a team of rescuers and rubber boats to search for missing victims and transport people to shelters. The disaster comes just 2 months after another deadly flooding hit the same island. Last week, 15 people were killed in South Sulawesi after landslides and flooding swept away homes and damaged roads. Also in Indonesia, at least 11 people were killed and dozens more injured after a bus carrying high school students on a graduation trip crashed in the West Java province. Authorities on Sunday said the bus was carrying more than 60 students and teachers from the Java island town of Depok to Lembang when it crashed at 6:48 p.m. local time on Saturday. It was reported that the bus suddenly lost control and tilted to the left, crashing into a car and 3 motorbikes. The accident also killed 1 motorcyclist, seriously injured 13 people and caused minor injuries to 40 others. Police said it was believed that the bus's brake malfunctioned before the crash, but added that the cause of the accident is still under investigation. At least 7 people were killed and 17 injured when a whole section of a Russian apartment block collapsed after it was struck by a Soviet-era missile launched by Ukraine and shot down by Russia. In one of the deadliest attacks to date on the region of Belgorod, Ukraine launched what Russian officials said was a massive missile attack with Tochka ballistic missiles and Adler and RM-70 Vampire multiple launch rocket systems. Russia's defense ministry said the attack, which it called a terrorist attack on residential areas, took place at 8:40 a.m. local time and involved at least 12 missiles. It added fragments of one of the downed Tochka-U missiles damaged an apartment building in the city of Belgorod. Russia described the strike as a targeted attack on civilians, which showed the criminality of both Ukraine and its backers, primarily the United States and its European allies. RB Leipzig's undefeated run continues. Sports when we come back.
Koloni warga Afrika cetus kebimbangan. Provokasi melampau jadi taktik ganggu pihak berkuasa. Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Mereka-mereka ini sebenarnya dalam usaha mencari jalan singkat untuk menghapuskan dosa-dosa mereka.
Letupan bom di pusat hiburan di Puchong sah angkara kumpulan militan Daesh.
Ekstremisme ini juga suatu ideologi yang salah dalam memahami agama Islam itu sendiri.
On to football, the 2024 Super League, 2 matches were played on Sunday night. Sabah FC were held to a disappointing goalless draw at home by Penang FC, while KL City FC were tied to a 1-0 draw by Kuching City FC. The hosts took the lead just after 12 minutes through skipper Paulo Josue. Pedro Enrique equalised for Kuching City 7 minutes with a curling effort. With the result, KL City stand in 5th place in the standings, while Kuching City FC sit in 6th. And on to the Bundesliga now. The RB Leipzig had to be satisfied with a share of points after they were held to a 1-0 draw by Werder Bremen at home. Bremen took the lead in the first half, no thanks to Nikola Zeivel's own goal in the 35th minute. Leipzig waited until the hour mark to level the score, courtesy of a powerful strike from Benjamin Šeško. The scoreline remained till the final whistle as both teams failed to capitalise on chances in front of the goal. With 1 game remaining in the league, Leipzig stands in 4th, securing Champions League football for next season, whilst Werder Bremen sit on 11th place. And over to tennis now, the ATP Italian Open. Defending champion Daniil Medvedev advanced to the last 32 following a straight sets win over Jack Draper. The world number 4 struggled at first as Draper dominated, but the Russian swiftly responded, winning the game 7-6, 6-4. He will next face Serbian's Hamad Medjedovic for a place in the quarterfinals. Earlier, Stefanos Tsitsipas edged out German's Jan-Lennart Struve. The former Rome finalist had a rough start before clawing his way back into the game to record a 6-7, 1-7, 6-4, 6-4 win. The number 6 seed will face Britain's Cameron Norrie in the next round. Cigarettes worth over 1.3 million ringgit seized. The details after this short break.
Dengan usus yang saya sumbangkan ni, banyak pihak yang boleh gunakan untuk belajar. Mungkin suatu hari nanti boleh jumpa penawar untuk penyakit kanser ni.
Saya tanya apa benda ni, kata dia inilah jong, permainan orang dulu-dulu.
Bila jong tu pergi laju ikut kehendak yang tuan dia nak, dekat hati tu rasa sikit bunga, banyak bunga tu. Sebab kita nampak jong kita laju macam mana pergi.
Stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Mereka-mereka ini sebenarnya dalam usaha mencari jalan singkat untuk menghapuskan dosa-dosa mereka.
Letupan bom di pusat hiburan di Puchong sah angkara kumpulan militan Daesh.
Ekstremisme ini juga suatu ideologi yang salah dalam memahami agama Islam itu sendiri.
Thanks for staying with us. Johor Marine Police seized 5,535 cartons of contraband white and Kretek cigarettes valued at over 1.37 million ringgit following a raid on a hut at Pantai Bayodesaru, Kota Tinggi on May 7th. State Police Chief Commissioner M. Kumar on Sunday said the syndicate is believed to have smuggled the cigarettes from a neighbouring country via sea routes. The syndicate was detected 2 or 3 weeks ago and is suspected to have conducted multiple smuggling operations. They appeared to be adept in conducting their operations, taking advantage of high tides to unload the cigarettes, and they constantly change the location where they unload the cigarettes. A man was detected at the location but managed to escape during the raid. In total, 914,600 sticks of cigarettes were recovered, along with a car which was also seized. The case is being probed under the Customs Act 1967. In Perak, 41 passengers travelling in a bus were injured when the vehicle overturned and landed in a ditch after an accident with a car at the North-South Expressway heading south on Sunday. State Fire and Rescue Department Assistant Director of Operations, Sabarotzi Nur Ahmad, said the department received a report on the incident at 7:28 a.m. Upon receiving the report, a team of firemen from the Meru Raya Fire and Rescue Station was dispatched to the location with the assistance of firemen from the Kuala Kangsar station. Based on initial information, the bus was on its way from Kupang Kedah to Ipoh, carrying passengers to attend a religious ceremony. However, the vehicle was involved in an accident with a car and skidded before overturned into a ditch by the side of the road. All the victims sustained minor injuries and were taken to the Raja Permaisuri Bainun Hospital. Every weekday morning, Muhammad Nordini gets up as early as 4 a.m. and makes his way to KL Central to earn a living despite being wheelchair-bound. Although facing difficult physical challenges, he paves his own way forward with hard work, resilience and determination. FMT's Dinesh Kumar Maganathan has the story.
Sebab saya pun bukanlah apa orang kata influencer boleh tarik juta-juta. Bahasa inilah laluan yang saya ada.
Muhammad Nordini faced many health challenges from a young age, but his spirit has never faltered. Even when he lost control of his hands and legs in his 20s, he refused to let his disability define him.
Temannya saya nak berniaga, saya berikan. Sebab nak ubah kehidupan. Lebih baik keluar dari kampung, buat kehidupan baru lah. Maknanya kita mencabar diri juga lah.
Muhammad Noor, who suffers from muscular dystrophy, has been selling packed food at KL Central since 2017. Initially, he simply wanted to help a friend, but after his untimely passing, Muhammad Noor took over the business. His daily routine is a testament to his perseverance and determination. Muhammad Noor wakes up as early as 4 a.m. By 6:30 a.m., he leaves his house, navigating his wheelchair through the alleyways of Setapak Jaya's PPR Desa Rejang, braving the busy streets to reach the bus stop. With the help of the Go KL bus service and LRT,
next station,
Muhammad Noor makes his way to KL Central. For him, it isn't just about earning a living for himself, it's also about helping others.
Supplier yang hantar saya tu, ada yang sakit buah pinggang, ada yang anak OKU, mana secara tak langsung. Bila saya berniaga, saya pun menolong orang.
Finishing his day selling the final pack of nasi lemak at KL Central around noon, Muhammad Noor heads back to Setapak Jaya, arriving home only at 3 p.m.
Ya benar, tapi berbaloi lah. Saya ada satu pasal saja lah, prinsip, iaitu R and R, reda and reda. Reda tu maksudnya buatlah apa yang boleh, semana yang mampu. Reda tu maknanya kita dah, selepas kita buat tu, serah pada Tuhan.
Reflecting on his journey, Muhammad Noor offers advice to those who face similar challenges.
Jangan terlalu berada di zon selesa. Kebiasaannya OKU, bila masih ada lagi penjaga, mak bapak lah kan, diorang ni fikir, tak apalah, tak payahlah berdikari, tak payahlah kerja apa semua kan. Nak mula kan tak payah. Nak berubah macam tu, hati memang kena keras.
Dinesh Kumar Maganathan, FMT Lifestyle for Nightline.
Of Nightline, we leave you with visuals of a drone light show lighting up Hong Kong's Victoria Harbour in celebration of Buddha's birthday and the Chung Chao Bun Festival. With that, I'm Muhammed and Hamdan. Thanks for tuning in and have a great weekend.